Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be doing my March money reset and I'm going to be reviewing exactly how much income I earned as a content creator. I'm also going to be sharing how much I spent for the whole month. So if you're nosy like me and you love to know about people's income and their spending habits, then this is the perfect video for you. To give a little background and context about myself, I've been making personal finance and lifestyle content for around 2 years now. So I like to talk about all things lifestyle, working out, personal finance. Like that's kind of what I'm into, just like any area of self-improvement. I typically make short form what I spend in a month videos for TikTok and for Instagram, but I actually really enjoy watching the long form ones on YouTube. So I figured it was time to bring it over to this platform and do like a bit of a deeper dive into my finances. I think that the topic of personal finance, while it can be sensitive, I'm a firm believer. I don't think it should be gatekept. Sharing knowledge with the world and being transparent about your own journey can help other people. I know that watching videos for myself has helped me so much on my own journey. Watching other people save and budget and invest their money really inspires me to do the same. So I hope that I can be maybe a little bit of inspiration to other people just to start budgeting or to just start taking care of your finances. And also, just so you guys know, I live in Canada and I am a full-time content creator, and I also have a part-time job where I work about 3 to 4 days a week. I choose not to talk about my part-time job just for personal privacy reasons. I would rather just not put it online. And I also choose not to share my income from that job. So I did remove that income just because I'm not comfortable sharing it, but I am more than an open book with everything else. So I hope that you guys enjoy. Also, if you like this video, make sure to give it a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you spent your money on this month because I want to know. I'm going to open up my budget sheet and we will run through the numbers. This is a budget sheet that I created and I have been selling for about 2.5 years now. And I do genuinely believe that this has been the biggest game changer for me with my finances. It just makes it so fun and easy for me to see my entire financial picture. So there's 2 different colorway options. This is the pink, of course. It has the instructions right on the first page when you open up that tells you how to set up the entire sheet. There's also a setup sheet where you can make your own categories, and in here you'll put in all your income sources, all of your bills, your expenses, your savings accounts, your investment accounts, and basically everything in this entire sheet is customizable. This is just the general template, but once you get your own, you can adjust it to your personal life and what you're spending your money on. There's also an annual overview that will show you month after month your finances in every single category. There's also an annual goals setup page and a place to do monthly reflections. And then of course there is the monthly budget setup. I'm going to open up my personal budget sheet. This is the second colorway, which is the orange. I freaking love the orange, honestly. It's definitely one of my favorites. Scroll over to the month of March and let's go through the numbers together. I made this a little bit smaller so you can see a little bit more of the overall picture. But in this top left corner here is the monthly overview. So I had budgeted for the month assuming that my income would be around $5,400. But my actual income ended up being about $6,000. Bills, I budgeted for $1,247 and I ended around $1,386. My expenses, I budgeted around $2,500 and I ended up at $3,700. So we need to dig a little deeper into this and find out where that discrepancy came from because $1,200 more than I expected is definitely crazy. Okay, on my credit cards, I have $0, which technically this is true and untrue. How I have this sheet set up is that you can either input all of your expenses and act like you're paying for it as a debit, like paying for it today, whereas some people put everything on their credit card and then they pay it off in the future. So when they're putting in their expenses, they don't want it to show up as money out today because technically it's money out in the future when you pay off your credit card. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but how I opt to do my budget is I opt to pay for everything today and act like I've paid for it right now instead of paying for it in the future. When my credit cards say 0, because I don't technically count it in my budget, I count the money spent today. Okay. Anywho, moving on, debt, also $0. I paid off my car in 2025, so that was super exciting. Savings, I budgeted $1,791 that I wanted to save, and we will see how much I ended up saving. My goals for March were to have 10 no spend days, which if we scroll over here, it says I had 2 no spend days in March. So that was a fail, no problem. Did not have 10 no spend days. My second goal was to save $1,000 for upcoming bachelorettes that I have. You guys, I am going on 3 international back-to-back-to-back bachelorettes. and they're all in America and I'm in Canada and our dollar is worth like nothing in comparison. So I'm a little bit scared. The flights and hotels are already paid for, but I just know how fast the conversion is going to add up. So I want to have a sinking fund of about $2,000 before I go into these trips so that everything is just paid for and I don't even have to think about it. So I wanted to save $1,000 for those bachelorettes. And then my other goal was that I wanted to finish my taxes, which I did do. So we will check that off. Roll down, it will say you earned $6,000 in the month of March, but you spent $5,165 and you saved $0. I just haven't inputted my savings yet, so we will do that together. First things first, you guys, if we look at my income, like I said, I removed my part-time job income from this strictly for privacy reasons. I wish that I could share, honestly, like I'm an open book. I love to be transparent, but I don't want to jeopardize myself by putting too much online. So secondly, from freelance work. So sometimes I do a little bit of freelance work and I'll help small businesses with their social media. I've made templates for businesses before. I've just like helped out family and friends with content. So I will get paid like nominal amounts for that. So I budgeted around $600 for that in the month of March and I ended up making $850. For brand deals and UGC deals, I did one UGC deal that I knew I was going to get paid out for this month, and it was $2,200. With brand deals and UGC content, the payment terms is around 30 or 60 days. So it takes a while for you to get paid after you've completed the work. But I knew that this was going to be coming in this month. So it's $2,200 for that. Next up is Stan Store. I budgeted around $2,000. Stan Store is where I sell this budget template, and any other like digital product service that I offer is all on Stan Store. Typically average around $2,000 a month during a regular month. December and January is like huge for budget templates, but the rest of the month kind of tapers off for me. So I earned $1,757. Next up for affiliates, I'm not really involved in too many affiliate programs. I'm working on joining one, but I budgeted about $50 for LTK. And I actually had my highest income month ever at LTK, which is so exciting. And I earned $120. So that was pretty exciting. I also included in here my dividends. I know this isn't social media income, but I thought it might be interesting. I do get dividend payments every single month, but usually every quarter is like when most of them pay out. So it's the biggest paycheck. I budgeted for about $300, but I guess I just had more invested than I thought I did. And a lot of my stocks are a little bit higher right now. So I got paid out more than I ever had, which was honestly so exciting. And that was $448. Next up was for consignment. So I love consigning my clothes and selling my clothes. Like I'm not a hoarder by any means. I clean up my closet like once every 2 months. So we moved last month and I took a whole bunch of my clothes to this local consignment store. And I thought I would get about $300, but I ended up getting $455. So no problem. And then I also have a section for gift and bonus income. I just put in like $200 that I ended up getting for my birthday here. So yeah, so that brings my total income minus my part-time income to $6,030 for the month. Next up for the bills section, I live in a townhouse with my fiance and we do split the rent. It is regular $1,665, which I think is like a great deal, to be honest. They kind of like gave us a bit of an incentive, I think, to move in here. But our rent is $1,665, so my portion is $832. For my phone bill, this is so irritating. I budgeted $97 and it ended up being $192.10. Ugh. What happened was that we didn't have any Wi-Fi and I had to keep buying data because I was out of high-speed data. And obviously, like being a content creator and this being my job and being part of my income, I just had to purchase the data. Like I didn't really have a choice. And it ended up obviously leaving me with a massive bill. We actually ended up leaving TELUS as a provider for our Wi-Fi. And because we left, they told me we're not refunding you for all the data you had to buy. Anyways, it was a whole debacle. It was a whole debacle and my bill was $192 and I just had to eat it. So no problem. Next up is my insurance. I actually really like to pay my insurance for the entire year. I just discovered that you could do this like 4 months ago and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do that. So I paid my whole premium for the year, but there was still a remaining balance because they upped my insurance. I don't know. I have no idea, honestly. But $1,550 was my insurance. I'm not sure why I put my actual at $31. I might have accidentally put it in twice, so we will take a look. Next up for my Wi-Fi, my portion is $42.50. And then Epcor here again, I budgeted $150 for Epcor. I think this is incorrect. I do not remember paying $198. And also we split that. So I also need to adjust this bill as well for Epcor. For our gas, I think we're with Atco, and that was $37.62. Obviously, that's our bill divided by 2. I also just have all of my subscriptions at the bottom here. Brings my total bills for the month to $1,386. I will say I'm very happy with that. My bills this time last year were like just over $2,000 a month because I was paying off my car, which was $500 a month. And I was also paying my car insurance monthly, which was like another $170, $180 a month. So we were able to knock off quite a bit of our monthly bills by just paying it up front, which has made a really big difference. And then also, of course, paying off my car has made the biggest difference of all. But I'm super happy with this being my fixed expenses. Over to my expense column, I honestly don't know how I went so over budget this month. So we need to do a deep dive into this. So for groceries, I budgeted $300 and I ended up spending $371. I feel like this is very typical, very, very typical. Fuel for my car budgeted $200 and I spent $204. Once again, that fully checks out. Car maintenance, I budgeted $50 for that and I only spent $9. I think this was just like on a car wash. LOL. So no problem, $9. Shopping, you guys are gonna laugh. I have 3 separate categories. I have shopping, I have Aritzia, and I have Sephora. Specifically, I know I spend the most money at Aritzia and Sephora, and I actually appreciate seeing an entire total for the entire year. It just does something in my brain. Like it scratches an itch for me that I can see the entire total that I spent. Shopping, I budgeted $100. I ended at $164. So we will find out where that came from. Aritzia, I budgeted $100 and I spent $83. Sephora, once again, $100 and I spent $327. So it's because I forgot that there was a sale and I went to go do a restock and I ended up doing an entire haul, which no problem. The cashier said that I can price adjust everything, so I should be getting like 20% back from that. Okay, this is the culprit right here, for sure. Other than Sephora, dining out, I only wanted to spend $100 and I spent $365. Oh my goodness. What is my problem, honestly? I need to stay in my freaking house. That's my problem. Oh, here we go again. Okay, I only wanted to spend $50 on coffee because I have such a nice coffee machine. Like I got the Breville Barista Touch a couple months ago. I'm obsessed with it. Why would I buy coffee out? But here I am, $170. Like, what is my problem? Okay, next up on fitness, I budgeted $209 for fitness. I spent $207. Perfect. We're right on the money. For health, I only had 100 in here, but I ended up spending $455. This is from my physio. I started going to physio in March and I have to submit my receipts to my insurance and then they'll pay me back. But to start, like I've paid it out of pocket. So that's why I have it in here. But technically I could take it out because I'm going to get reimbursed for it. Next up for my dog, I always have a little budget for him, but it looks like I didn't end up spending anything. So that was $0 for him. Didn't have a budget for travel this month, but I did end up spending $40. I think this was for one of the bachelorettes that I'm going on preemptively. Gifts, I put down $200 because it was my fiance's birthday this month. And I did spend $559 on gifts. I don't know how we got here. Like I did not even get him a present. So I don't even know how we got to $559. Beauty, I wanted to only spend $150. I spent $167. I'm happy with that. Home, I gave myself a $200 budget and I only spent $163, which I think is great because we just moved and it's so easy to go to HomeSense and just buy. Except for my wedding, I do have a full separate sheet and I have a full separate high yield savings account for my wedding. I only put my wedding costs into my budget sheet that I'm like personally paying for. So I had a budget of $200 this month. I think it was to finish our invitations, which we did. And I ended up spending $113 on that. For my business, I do have like a full separate business account and a separate business budget sheet and like all of these things. This is like my master sheet where I have everything because I like to see like what my overall totals are. So for my business, I always have a $200 budget and I spent $285. I also have my savings funds. I had my goal, of course, to save $1,000 for the travel for the bachelorettes. One other thing I want to show you guys is my account tracking. This is how I like to track my net worth. And every single month, I will like go through this and type in exactly how much is in every single account. And it will then obviously like sum everything up and I get a general idea of like how much my investment portfolio grew over the past month, or if it declined, or if I took money out. I don't know. I just find it really interesting. I always check at the end of every single month my balance in every single individual account, and I input it in here. Okay, so I wanted to go through some of the fun money that I spent this month so you guys can get a little glimpse into how I spend my money. I'm always so interested in this with other people. I don't know why. Like, I'm so nosy. I love it. Now remembering why my gift section was so high. I sent $200 to my friend for her bachelorette as like a partial gift because she helped me make my invites, which was so incredibly kind and time consuming of her. And I wanted to contribute a little bit more to the bachelorette activities that she wants to do. So I sent her $200 for that. Underneath that, I inputted my dividends that I received for the month. And then I also sent an e-transfer to my makeup artist for $50. We're doing a second bridal trial for my birthday party because I decided that I wanted to switch some things up from when I initially got my makeup done. I was like, let's kill two birds with one stone and do this for my birthday party. So I sent her $50 deposit for that. Lunch at work, $31. That's diabolical. Like, I will be so real. I don't even want to look at that. I gotta go. I have some groceries for $97 here. The car wash, of course, $9. More groceries for $74. I went to XO Bistro. Oh my gosh, my fiance and I love to go get pho from this place called XO Bistro. So that was $71.50. I just like to treat him sometimes. Usually he always pays for dinner out, but I think I was just feeling a little lovey that day. My physio, this is the $125 that will be getting reimbursed. So I honestly might just take this out and put it at zero because that's technically money I'm getting back and not money that I've spent. So I'm going to put that at zero. Random Amazon purchase of $12.59. I'll be real, I have no idea what that is, like, at all. This is why it's so important to track your spending so then you actually know what's going on and where your money is going. I went to a Women in Wealth gala and I did buy the raffle tickets. It was $41.60. I had a coffee date and then it looks like I bought an Amazon roller. So that's what I was up to then. I also have a Kindle membership that I am really not utilizing. So that's kind of embarrassing. I either need to cancel it or start reading. Like, come on. And I should probably start reading because it's good for me. I only did one HomeSense trip and that was $163. I'm pretty proud of that. Like I said, because we moved, I could have spent so much more on just like moving and new home decor and all that stuff. But I feel like I wasn't really into it this month. So that is a good sign. Next up for a tank of gas, $51. It's crazy to see how at the beginning of the month on March 7th, I was paying $50 for a tank of gas. And then if we scroll down to my tank of gas on March 18th, my tank was $70. Like, that is absolutely wild. So it is just crazy what's going on in the world. Spend $117 on my manicure. She is quite pricey, okay? My nail lady is really pricey, but she does an unreal job. Physio again, I'm going to put this at zero. Went to the farmer's market. I also got charged $179 for my Epidemic Sound membership. That is how I can use music in my YouTube videos, and it's just one charge for the whole year. Definitely like a bit of a pricey upfront cost, but it's worth it, and I need it. Like, I need the music. Imagine a YouTube video with no music. It would just be, ASMR. I also had to order new coffee filters and a blackout door curtain from Amazon. So that was $74. My friend and I also did a drop-in at a newer Pilates studio, and that was $36.75. And then I believe while I was there, I bought some socks. Yes, I did. I bought some socks, and that was $8.40. Also, this explains why my dining out was so high. I bought lunch for my friends because they helped me so much with my wedding planning. They came with me to the rental store. They helped me with my florals. Like, oh my gosh, they're just like the best and they help me with everything. So that was $134.51. I restocked on my Element electrolytes. I don't even know how I lived without these electrolytes before. I love these. I always get the citrus flavor and it was $65.99. Another tank of gas and it is $83.76. I think that's the most I have ever paid for a tank of gas in my life. Okay, this is the silliest thing ever. I accidentally signed up for a free trial for Dash Pass, never canceled it, and then I got charged $100. So I'm going to try and cancel it. I will see if they give me a refund because I haven't even used DoorDash since then. So I don't know. To be determined. Yearly membership was $113. That's for 4 classes a month. We also, under gifts, I did like a cute little birthday setup for him with some balloons. We had like a little Spider-Man themed movie night and I spent $53 on that. And I also got him some socks, which was $17. I do think I put in my car insurance twice. So I'm going to delete this one. Of course, we have my outrageous phone bill of $192, which was so insane, honestly. Like, I definitely did not need to do that, but it felt necessary at the moment. So definitely regretting that. Apple subscriptions was $45. There's just always a million charges with Apple that I have no idea where they're coming from or where they're going. Then I also inputted at the end of the month a couple of dividends that I received later on. I also inputted my budget template sales for the month, which I cash out on a month-by-month basis. I also want to show you guys my favorite section of the spreadsheet. This is the what I spend in a day column, and it shows you what you spent day after day after day. So my highest spend day was, of course, March 1st when I obviously paid my rent. And then my second highest day was on March 31st when I spent $686. So it's just kind of nice to see how the money is flowing out throughout the month and just see how much you spend in a day. So that is how my budget and all of my spending went in the month of March. And the next thing that I like to do after closing out last month's budget is I like to open up the next month. So I'm going to go over to April and I'm going to set up my goals and the expected income and bills that I think I will have for the month. For freelance income, I expect to earn around $500. For brand deals, I am not getting paid out for any brand deals this month. I know that because I recently terminated a contract and it was super awkward. So I won't be getting any money for that. For my budget template, I'm going to say $1,500. I know that April is often typically a lower month for budget template sales. For affiliates, I'm going to shoot for the stars again, and I'm going to say $120 that I want to earn again from LTK. For dividends, I know that I got most of mine paid out last month, but I think that I still have some others coming in this month, so I'm going to say $175 for that. For consignment, I do have some other clothes that need to be sold at that store, so I think I'm expecting around $250 more if those clothes sell. For gift and bonus income, this $9,983 is actually my tax return. I am well aware that I'm severely overpaying on my taxes, but I have a CPA. He helps me with everything. I think it's because I'm like maxing out my tax advantage accounts. Being like a small business owner, I get some extra tax credits and all sorts of other things that come up. And I ended up just getting a massive tax refund this year. Last year, I got a $7,000 tax refund and everyone on the internet like ripped me to shreds. At least it's not just going to the government and I never see it again. At least I'm getting it back. So we'll take it. So I'm expecting my income for the month to be around $12,528. My rent and all my bills are budgeted out accordingly. They're the same every single month. So it'll just be around $1,250. And then for my expenses for groceries, once again, I'm going to do $300. For fuel, because the price of fuel is going up, I don't know. I feel like I should say $250 just to be safe. For car maintenance, I don't have to get anything done on my car, but I'm going to put $50 just in case. For shopping, it's springtime. I have those trips coming up, so I'm going to say $200. Oh no. I'm going to say $150. At Aritzia, I'm going to say $250. At Sephora, because I already purchased and I'm going to price adjust my items with the sale, I'm going to say $0. I'm not letting myself get anything on the sale. For takeout, I'm going to put $75 and I better not freaking go over that. Dining out, I'm going to say $100. Coffee, I'm giving myself a $50 budget because I'm in trouble for what I did last month. Fitness will be $207. This is what it is every single month with my Good Life membership and with my Legree membership. Health, I'm going to do $50. Just in case. For my dog, I'm going to do $100. For travel, I'm going to do $0. For gifts, I'm going to do $200 because it is two of my friends' birthdays this month. So I'll definitely want to get them something. For beauty, I'm going to put $500 because I know that I have a nail appointment. I also have a hair appointment and I'm getting my makeup done. And I'm actually getting my bridal trial hair done. Okay, wait a minute. I need more than $500. Okay, actually, I'm going to budget around $650 for beauty instead. And then for my home, I'm going to say $150. My wedding, I'm going to say $100 again. And for my business, $200 again. I know that this is a little bit of a higher budget, but I would rather be more realistic with myself instead of being surprised at the end and overspending on everything. So I'm going to leave it at that. Lastly, I'm going to do my goals for April. So my goals for April is going to be to save another $1,000 for those bachelorettes that I'm going on. And I also want to invest at least 50% of my tax return. Also really want to try and have 10 more no spend days. And I do believe in myself. I think that I can do it. Okay, that is everything for March. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. If you like this type of content, please leave me a comment and let me know. And that way I know you like it and I can make more for you. And thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.